Hey folks, welcome to the Rain channel. Today I am joined by one of our regular guests and trusted partner, Natasha Phipps. Natasha Real Estate. Calgary primary your focus, but you know lots about Alberta. Love when you give us some market updates and some insights. And just prior to this, first I want to say welcome. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me again, as always.
So a little bit of offline conversation. You know, the market's good. It's August. Things slow down, but inventory. We can't find deals. So give us a little bit of an update of what you're seeing in the investment community overall. Like you said, things are a little quiet and listings are a little tough. And so give me some insights.
It's a challenging market out there for sure. I mean, inventory as a general whole right now for Calgary, we're sitting at, was it 1.32 months of supply for July for all market types, which is just, that's incredibly tight. So it's super challenging whether you're buying a condo or a house or a townhouse. It doesn't matter right now. It is across the board, which is sort of newer, right? Like the apartment sector definitely lagged behind all the others, but the apartment sector is still challenging. It's under 2 months of supply. So more than ever, it's important to know the deals before they hit the MLS. I feel we're having a lot of those conversations and kind of trying to find deals before they hit the MLS for our investors that are actively trying to buy this summer.
Mm-hmm. So when you kind of consider what's going on, you're saying the entire market is that way. I'm also reading, you know, and I look at some of the research I'm doing around Calgary, that aside, you know, regardless of what interest rates are doing, prices are actually growing in Calgary, in Alberta overall, but primarily let's stay focused on Calgary. No surprise for the Rain community who's been following along. You know, we've been beating the Calgary drum for at least 3 or 4 years, knowing that rents would increase, knowing that prices are going to go up, that upward pressure continues. This limited inventory is still going to drive prices higher as well as rents. But that's my view on it. How do you see it being boots on the ground?
100%. Prices continue to rise, and it's, like Rain talks about all the time, it's where are the people going? And there's just so many people moving to Calgary right now. They are entering the market as home buyers, they're entering the market as tenants. And so the rental market is extremely challenging as well, which for an investor, of course, I mean, that's what we care about, is making sure we get a good tenant. So yeah, very challenging times indeed. And there's a lot of conversations between like, okay, well, interest rates are high. Should I wait to buy? But then with how much demand we're seeing for Calgary, I feel like if you wait to buy until interest rates come down, prices are only going to go up further. So there's that really challenging decision right now for a lot of our investors.
Well, you know, when you look at what's going on in the market today, and, you know, it's August and lots of people take the month off, and I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
But, you know, is there a way to kind of keep your foot in the door? How do you kind of recommend? Because you don't want to, when opportunities do present themselves, you also don't want to miss those opportunities.
Yeah.
Any guidance you can give for investors to stay engaged and or, you know when those deals are coming up?
100%. I mean, it's staying in touch with your team, right? Letting us know that you want to be, kept up to date. Obviously, automatic emails are a very easy way to do that. But we have our kind of people that are actively looking right now, or just wanting to keep an eye on things. Like, let me know if you see a fourplex. Let me know if you see a good Airbnb property. And so it's just staying in touch with your team, like always, right? It's summer for everyone, but summer can also be a great deal to kind of snag something that comes up when people are distracted.
You know, it's interesting. I'm going to just again, you know, they call me Mr. Alberta, and there's, you know, I guess number one, I was born and raised in Alberta, but you know, I go and I talk about where the real estate opportunities exist, and Alberta is just a province right now for that. Calgary specifically is a province for that. You are in it every single day. I mean, let's just recap a couple of things, and then I want to move on to another question for you. But you know, folks, I want to shine a light on Alberta again and continue to. You've got low cost of living, low cost of housing. You've got a very vibrant economic condition. You've got people moving into that province because of the low cost of living and the low cost of housing, as well as great job opportunities and higher than average incomes. So that is, you know, the foundation of everything around this Alberta market. So I want to just shine a light on that for you. Now, where do you see interest rates going in the very near future? What's your view of the interest rate world? I know it's just a guess because nobody really knows.
It's just a guess, and I feel like every couple months we're all just feeling more and more deflated here this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, like always, when people ask me about interest rates, and even looking at my own investments, like you have to have that long term view, right? We
Mm.
can't just be focused on the next 3 6 months when we're buying real estate. We should be looking at 5 10 years down the road. So I still feel confident buying real estate, but I also know during these times of higher interest rates. And I mean, I'm hopeful things will start to turn around here in the next year in terms of rates. But even if they don't, I mean, the nice thing about being strategic with your acquisitions is we now have a lot of people pivoting, whether they're doing a furnished rental now instead of a unfurnished one, to try
Mm.
to squeeze that cash flow out, right? So I
Mm.
mean, I've been talking about this for years, but like have more than one, opportunity with an acquisition if you can. Buying a one trick pony is always higher risk, right? So
Yeah.
we have a lot of those conversations. A lot of our investors are converting in order to combat the higher interest rates, but also reminding them continually about the long-term view.
Got it. Now, something, I remain very bullish in Alberta and seeing prices, although they may go sideways for a little while given what's happening in the market, I still see an upside over the coming years ahead. And I know there's lots of confusion and uncertainty and all the rest of it, but we can't negate the fact of supply versus demand. It continues to be an issue. And I think that on just going back to the interest rate side of it, Natasha, my view of it is this, is that rates right now, I think you can get in around the 6.5 mark. And when we look at even interest rates coming down, we have to accept the fact that they're never going to go back to 1.5%. Or if they
Right.
are, it's, in a future state for sure,
Yeah.
we'll probably come back to maybe 5%. That's kind of my guess on it. But they're not going to come to 2.5 or 3%. I don't see that happening. Certainly in let's say the next 2 or 3 years, anything's possible in the world of what's happening. But
Yeah.
I also don't see him spiking up too much. Any thoughts on that?
No, that's sort of my view as well. I mean,
Mm.
I don't think we can expect any massive changes downward anytime soon. Like I think we have to understand that interest rates that low were a very unique time.
Yeah,
And it was easy to get used to that. Like it was really easy to get used to that. And now I don't think it's worth waiting, sitting around on the sidelines for rates to go down for however many years that might take, if it even happens. Right.
yeah.
So work with what's here, right? Run your numbers, be smart, be strategic. But I still think real estate works. And again, having that long term view, right?
Now, there's another opportunity in the world of real estate, and I don't want to put you on the spot because we didn't discuss this topic, but I think it's a topic worth talking about, anyways. I
Yeah.
mean, several months ago, you launched a trust, which is just an opportunity to put your money to work in the world of real estate without trying to find a deal, without going for financing. You can get in lighter. Is your trust still a thing? Is there a reason that people might want to reach out to you and talk to you about that trust?
Yeah, that's something I'm super passionate about for sure. Wellshare is a private REIT, and we're acquiring multifamily real estate so that our investors can invest in that sector passively. A lot of people are interested in the multifamily sector, but it's a big bite to go do that on your own,
Mhm.
or it's just a lot to manage and consume. So Wellshare is there as that opportunity, and we are very bullish on Alberta as well. So it's a way to invest passively in Alberta.
Mhm.
And the multifamily sector for Calgary specifically, I mean, the time is now. We, are really seeing that recovery in our downtown. Of course, that's behind us now. We are kind of flying high here, and it's the time. So it's good to see Calgary having that recovery downtown,
Mhm.
um, and our kind of inner core period, right? Like that was a really hardest hit part of Calgary. So it's a very different story now. And all those multifamily kind of assets are ready for someone else to kind of pick up. So
It's beautiful. Now, let's finish up on a kind of a something that I continue to see drives me crazy is that, Alberta is a one trick
yeah,
pony. And, I get tired of hearing it because it's just not that anymore. I mean, yes, it's still got oil and gas. There's lots of controversy about what Daniel Smith is doing around the moratorium on renewable energy. And like, I get so tired of I guess, the narrow and shallow focus of so many that really don't understand what's going on in the province. Uh, and specifically, again, we're talking about Calgary.
Yeah.
Give us an update of what you're seeing in terms of business and how that market has expanded economically, Natasha.
A good way to look at this from our perspective too is like, obviously you and I can say that all day long, but what's the tangible things, right? And
Mhm.
there's a couple things that I've just been blown away by lately. One is on the property management side for WellShare. We get a lot of applications in there. So why are people coming here and what jobs are they doing? And honestly, very few of them have anything to do with the energy sector. And we
Yeah.
look at hundreds of these a month, right? And it is honestly very few because the population looking at moving to Calgary is not moving here for the energy sector. So that
Mhm.
alone is really cool to see, like all kinds of interesting opportunities. A week ago, I got the opportunity to go down to Platform Calgary. It's a really cool facility downtown Calgary. If there's any local people, I suggest you go to Platform Calgary. But it's a startup community hub, and it is free for people to join. And I was just buzzing. There was just all kinds of cool initiatives happening there, and getting that boots on the ground, seeing that none of it had to do with energy. And it's really exciting time. Like there's so many brilliant minds moving to Calgary and setting up shop here in Calgary that, is not energy related. That's there, of course, like you said, but there's so much more happening here.
I think there's a real strong consideration that we want to shine a light on. The immigration that's coming into the country, and there's also, of course, uh, Ukraine and refugees. And sometimes when you attach the refugee kind of handle to people coming in, but these are individuals coming in. They're educated. They're well versed in a number of areas of expertise, and so these aren't just refugees that we're supporting. Of course, there's always that component of it until they get their feet on the ground and kind of get landed in where they're going to live and what they're going to do and finding their community and their hood and all the rest of it. But I can't state enough that when you look at Alberta, and the other thing we want to point out is just simply, even when we talk about cost of living, don't negate the impact of the provincial government not passing on this carbon tax. I literally yesterday, regular gas in Abbotsford, British Columbia, which is the cheapest part of the Fraser Valley, paid $2.04 a liter for regular gas. Come on. And
Yeah,
you guys, I know Alberta complains about what are you, $1.45 or something? I
yeah,
don't Yeah.
yeah. No, and that is huge. I mean, high wages, lower cost of living. Um, And to your point about the, like refugees making Calgary home, I mean, these are extremely well educated
Hmm.
people trying to make Calgary home. Many of them, unfortunately, are stuck in Airbnbs for way too long because the rental demand is so high. But they have a lot of them have very significant savings. They are coming with assets to bring to our city, which is really really important.
Hmm. So, folks, we can't stress enough. I know it's August. Take time for your family always. Reach out to Natasha or her team at Phipps Real Estate Group. Keep in mind that this is an opportunity that when others are kind of relaxing and kind of putting real estate out of mind, it's a time to kind of dip your toe back in the water, make sure you're reaching out, look at the opportunities, stay active to the degree that you can based on your time and your need to, manage your energy and relax. Got all that. But this is an opportunity where others are kind of sitting on the sidelines for you to step in, work with somebody like Natasha. If you're from Ontario, Alberta is a great place. Even now, it's harder to find deals, but it's still possible to find cash flow given the price difference. Now, am I talking out of school on there, Natasha?
Nope, nope,
Yeah,
absolutely you can. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas in Ontario, you guys are all going, there's nothing here.
No,
Well, listen, there always is something, by the way, that depends on your tactic and your strategy. But for those of you who are in Ontario and looking for a great team
yeah.
and that would actually support you in investing out of province, reach out to Natasha and her team with Phipps Real Estate Group. And Natasha, as always, appreciates so much your time and your insights. It's important to stay connected. Again, I keep hammering it. It's summer, I get it. But don't just
Absolutely.
step away. Stay
100%.
engaged. Yeah.
100%. And just to follow up on that, if you are wanting to hit the ground running in September, like reach out now. We can have that initial call now, make a plan so that we're not scrambling come fall when everyone else is scrambling. So
Uh,
we can spend an hour now to be very prepared in the fall, and it'll go a long way.
Beautiful. Great advice. On that note, thanks, Natasha.
Thanks so much.